Well, I think, like all children, we love art from the day we're created ourselves. And I think probably I didn't realize how important it was to me till I started taking classes as an adult at Sierra College. And then I became very focused on art and how it's created and what's important. And it's just been a life experience, just finding out about art. I think most people think of me as a two-dimensional artist, but I really am a sculptor. I think of my work as being textural and in layers, and I really like to make sculptures, but as I've gotten older, it's too hard to lift them anymore, so I started creating things in a little lighter format so I could lift them. And it's just fun to explore art. Well, I really love shapes and colors, and I think probably that's my focus, is just how things are created. That each time I create a piece of artwork, I like to explore where it's taking me. And every time I do something, I think, what if I do that? It could make it more interesting. And so every piece of art I create is an adventure. And it just, you kind of lose yourself thinking about what it will turn out like. And this particular one, I used a lot of texture on it before I even started, because I thought it would be really important. And this is called 3 Generations, because I thought about my mother and my daughter-in-law and my granddaughter when I did it. It was just such a fun experiment, but I didn't have any idea how that was going to turn out with the texture. So it's always a surprise to me what happens when you're creating art. And I've been creating with a lot of copper lately, and I patina the copper outside in the sun, and I lay down a lot of materials on top of it. And when the nature does its thing to copper, it's so interesting to see what colors and shapes come out of it. So then I take the copper and I cut it up into pieces to make it more interesting to me, and then I attach them to boards, and and then I just do different things with it. So that's, my art has been an evolution, and I guess I used to belong to a group called the Evolvists, and I think that's probably what I am. It's just an evolvist. I had some wonderful teachers at Sierra College, and the benefit was I was taking night classes. I started out in a class just to get away from home for one night a week, because I had children at home and I worked full time, and it was just a nice escape. And when I got there, I found out about clay, and then I found out about drawing, and then I found out about painting with the oils, and then acrylics, and then finally I took metal shop, and anyway, and welding and bronze casting, and I even made some furniture for my children when they were little, like a captain's bed and some desks in a wood shop class. So with all those adventures, it's kind of let me create what I'm doing today. And the teachers that we had at Sierra College were night teachers, and they were beginning instructors too. So they had a lot of new experiences to share with their students, and I think each one of them had more to offer than even they realized. So I think that was a great growth experience for me, and I hope I continue to grow. Probably one of the best things that happened to me was when I was asked to be on a studio tour, because I had no idea someone would be interested in buying my art. And so it kind of opened the door for me about having my art in galleries, and just having the confidence that someone is interested in what I'm creating. And it's just been, it makes it really fun to have people appreciate what you've done. And I love to have people tell me what they see in my art, because it's not what I necessarily see, but everybody takes on art in a different way, and I really like the fact that that they share that with me. It just is exciting. And one time I did a painting. I tore up some of my drawings, my personal drawings from the drawing class, and one of them was with a man with a mask over his face, and this was pre the virus era, but I saw it as a man who kept everything inside. But I had a woman come into my studio and say she thought it was a political statement about foreign countries that people can't talk. So it's just an experience about how those things affect people. And when she said that, I went, oh, I see that. That's really, I like that better than mine. Anyway, it's just an interesting part of my life. Don't ever be discouraged about how you create your art or whether you're stuck. You just need to keep trying and exploring all the avenues of art. And when you find your own space and your own word, it'll become very obvious to you that that's truly what you want to be in creating art. Well, people would think it's kind of hard to believe, but I really love clay. It's such a sensual medium to work with, and it's so magical how many things you can do with clay. And you can make it flat or shapes or anyway, I just love clay. And when I started out going to Sierra College, that's what I worked with for a couple of years, and then I got kicked out of those classes because you couldn't take them forever. And so then I moved on to drawing, and then I just kept exploring my art. I think it's really important to have the time to share your art and to create your art and to think about how things are created and the serenity that you get from enjoying art and the imagination that it takes to look to see what the artist meant or what you are as an artist meant. I think it's really important to focus on just relaxing and being serene. I think the most important part about being a Blue Line member is that you get to meet other artists and share great experiences with them, share your art, share your economic values, and the wisdom and friendship. And I've made some great friends through Blue Line, and I hope to continue to do that. It's been a great experience.